What's going on? It's Astronaut H, and this is the What More Do You Want Network. Now, in this video, I will be discussing tonight's game between the Chicago Bulls and New Orleans Pelicans. This game, the Bulls had a few days off before this one. Their last game was actually, I believe, Sunday against the Denver Nuggets. So the Bulls were coming off a loss, and the Pelicans did win their last game, which was against the Memphis Grizzlies. So, seeing as though the Bulls were rested and the Pelicans came off of back-to-back, I'm thinking the Bulls are going to come out with a lot of energy. It's going to be there early on, and they're just going to ramp it up and just take this game and move on to the next one. Now, in the beginning of the game started off, I feel like the game started off pretty good. The Bulls get DeMar DeRozan going, early with the first bucket of the game. And Ayo is aggressive early, gets to the rim, lays the ball in, and things like that. And Vucevic hits a three early, so you could see that the Bulls offense was moving pretty good early on in this game. Defense, of course, was a little shaky in the beginning. They was allowing open threes and guys to get to the rim. But it wasn't a moment in the beginning of the game where I said, well, the Bulls look laxed. Sometimes I do talk about how the tempo and things of that nature, the Bulls will come out flat to start games. But that wasn't the case tonight. The Bulls came out tonight and they looked like, okay, they were poised to actually be in this game. I love when Patrick Williams gets involved early in the offense. I would like Pat to be so much more aggressive. It's two things that I want to see from Chicago going forward in the season, right? I want to see Vucevic get way more paint touches, and I want to see Patrick Williams be 10 times aggressive as he is during games. He allows the game to flow to him instead of be the flow. A player of his caliber, and in I believe his third year, at this point he should be elevating his game to the level of his counterparts on the team, allowing the game to come to you instead of taking the game. Guys like DeMar DeRozan, even if they're having a bad shooting night, they're going to keep shooting. Instead of allowing the game to come to them, they're going to take the game and dictate how the flow of the game is played. Same thing for Zach LaVine. And I feel like Patrick Williams has to do more of that. Same thing for Vucevic. It's one thing for Vuce to be what he was in Orlando, but we're so far removed from that. I feel like he's losing his game, so to speak, because one, it's two reasons why when I watch Vucevic and why he's not getting as many paint touches. I watched the game tonight and I'll see a mismatch. Vucevic is being defended by Larry Nance Jr., but he's at the perimeter. Vucevic should be guarded by another non-big on the Pelicans, but he's on the wing somewhere. Listen, you have to dominate your matchup. Know your personnel. If you're being guarded by a 6'9" wing, please go to the paint. Call for the ball. Even if it's upsetting guys, you have to make your presence felt in the paint as a premier big in the East. Let's just say, for instance, the Bulls do end up playing a team like Philadelphia in the playoffs, Milwaukee in the playoffs, Miami. You playing these teams that have premier bigs. Milwaukee might not have the best top 5 center, but Philadelphia do. Miami has Bam Adebayo. What is Vucevic going to do in situations like that? You have to be able to attack and score against the matchups. So again, like I said, that's two things that I want to harbor on about what the Bulls don't do. Now, but again, like I said, good shot selection early, but early turnovers were hurting the Bulls, and that's something they have to clean up. Like, that's not even something that you can even say, man, only if they didn't turn the ball over so much. No, they have to stop turning the ball over so early. You can have turnovers. Turnovers are going to happen. Bad pass, guys step out of bounds, but you have guys traveling. You have guys carrying the ball. You have guys missing assignments, and it's just things that can't happen because those turnovers turn into points for the other team. And a team like New Orleans is not going to let too many offensive possessions go by the wayside, not with the talent that they have. CJ McCollum, Brandon Ingram, who had a good game tonight. Alvarado, who had a good game tonight. Trey Murphy, who had a great game tonight. And that's where the Bulls were lax. They were allowing a lot of threes by Trey Murphy, a lot of runouts. They were allowing things where you say, okay, defensively, something got to give, right? And I don't blame Billy Donovan. A quote by Greg Popovich said this, I'm the coach. I put in the game plan. It's up to the players to execute. And I feel like the Bulls have the players to execute a game plan. They just take it upon themselves to be, you know what? I'm not going to say take it upon themselves, right? I'm going to put it on the two All-Stars. Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan have to be better defensively. End of story. If they cannot be better defensively, the Bulls are going to suffer nightly. There's no way around it. The league is predicated on guys that can dribble, pass, and shoot, especially the wing players. Look all around the league. The teams that are considered contenders. They have wings and they have guards that can dribble, pass, and shoot. You have to have defensive-minded players who can not only play offense, you have to be able to cause an effect with the game on both sides of the ball. And I feel like if I'm going to sit here and say, well, the Bulls lost because of Alex Caruso, or the Bulls lost because of Goran Dragic, or Andre Drummond, Derrick Jones Jr., Javonte Green, I am not going to say that. I look at the stars. I look at the guys who make $200 million. Those are the guys that win, lose, draw. Those are who the reporters come to after games. What happened tonight. That's just how it goes. Yes, the coach can get some of the blame, but ultimately the players have to take a bulk of the responsibility. And that's just real. That's just real. You cannot afford to say whose fault it was when you are the guy on the ticket stub, right? Season ticket holders, they open the book and they see your face. It comes down to what you do. But the Bulls give up another 30-point quarter to start the game. The Bulls were down 4 at the end of the quarter, but they do shoot 12 of 24 to start the game. Now in the second, Alex Caruso, big three from the corner, and AC was hitting that shot consistently tonight. And that's what you want to see from him. His offensive rating is not the best these days, but you want to see him get comfortable shooting that corner three. And I feel like that's what he needs for his confidence. Then the Bulls get a transition dunk with Zach LaVine. And the second unit with Zach LaVine, I believe Billy is trying things with Dragic, LaVine, Dragic, LaVine, I believe Drummond, Jones, and I'm not sure if it was Green or AC at times. I'm a little vague on how he did it, but that second unit and allowing Zach to be the focal point of that is a good idea. It allows more freedom for Zach to offensively dominate, because sometimes I do feel like him and DeRozan are still trying to figure out their ways of who's going to be offensively dominant sometimes, because when you don't have a premier point guard, because Ayo is slipping, in my opinion. I've seen some of the things he's done in the last few games, and it doesn't seem like he was as aggressive as he was to start the season. So I'm hoping he reined himself back into the form he was in. You know, he was taking a lot of threes and making a lot of threes, to where as though, you know, certain teams had to look out for him. But now it's like that's not there, and hopefully he gets back into the fold, because I think the Bulls need a better, you know, facilitator at the point guard spot. That's just my opinion. Now the Bulls, again, you know, they do play a good enough second quarter, you know, to make the game not seem like it was getting out of hand. But the Pelicans were giving the Bulls their all the entire game. I can definitely attest to that. But the Bulls were down 5 at the half, you know, 58-53. And I wasn't upset about that. You know, the Bulls played good. They played 2 good quarters of basketball. I would have liked to see them play better defense, perimeter-wise, and, you know, more paint touches to Vucevic and things like that. But I wasn't upset. Vucevic had a great first half. He was rebounding well versus Valanciunas. So I wasn't upset with how the Bulls played in the first half. Now, the second half is a total different story. Tonight, second half by Chicago was embarrassing. I'm going to cut straight to the chase, man. Tonight's second half was embarrassing. Early on in the third, the Bulls shoot, I believe it was an air ball three. The Pelicans do come down and they make a basket. I believe it was a 3. Bulls come down, turn the ball over. The Pelicans come back down and make another 3. Before you do it and you looked up, the Bulls were down 14, and that's exactly when the game snowballed in the opposite direction for Chicago tonight. The second half was just embarrassing, man. You've seen a lot of missed assignments, seen guys giving up open threes. You know, the Bulls weren't able to get no footing in the second half at all. I believe the biggest lead was 20 plus for the Pelicans at one point in the second half. And again, like I said, the entire second half, the Bulls just didn't look good. You know, guys looked lethargic. Like I said, they didn't look like a team that was rested. You know, if you looked at the game, you would have thought that the Pelicans were the team that were off for a few days, and the Bulls were the team that played the back-to-back. It just looked bad. And then Billy, he decided to let the starters play a good chunk of the fourth quarter to try to get, you know, the lead down. And, you know, Zach and DeRozan did get their offense going, but it was too little too late. And ultimately, you know, that led to the Bulls losing tonight. And, you know, I'm not upset that they lost. It's in the manner of how they lost by 14 points, 124-110, and giving up 30-point quarters. You know, you can't do that, especially when you're trying to be a premier team in the Eastern Conference. But let me get down to this box score. So Vucevic had 14 points, 10 rebounds. I think Vucevic needs to be touching the ball in the paint a whole lot more. No assists for Vucevic tonight. Zach LaVine did end up with 25, 5 and 3. DeMar DeRozan did have 28, 7 and 4. But as far as bench production, you really didn't get any tonight. Dragic had 6. Andre Drummond had 8. A spectacular alley-oop from Alex Caruso by Andre Drummond, which was insane. Probably one of the better highlights for the Bulls tonight. They got 3 points and 4 rebounds from Javonte Green. You know, Tony Bradley did get in the game, gave in 3. 11 minutes from Derrick Jones Jr., but he didn't score. So ultimately, the Bulls, you know, when you look at 3-point shooting, I mean, what team can you beat when the Pelicans made 17 of 33 3-pointers on 51% shooting? The Bulls at one time didn't shoot a free throw since the second quarter, and that was in the fourth quarter. So it was a lot of things that went on tonight, and ultimately, it, like I said, it led to another Chicago Bulls loss. I believe that is their fifth loss in 6 games. So now the Bulls are 6-9. They do have an off day before they play their next game, which will be against, I believe it is, if I have to check the schedule, the Bulls do play the Orlando Magic. That is a home game on Friday at 8 p.m. So we'll see if they can bounce back from tonight's game and see how they come out, man. I mean, Orlando is an upstart young team, and we'll see how the Bulls bounce back and what the defense and offense looks like come Friday night, man. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Did you guys watch the game? Pelicans fans, Chicago Bulls fans, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you guys see the Bulls bouncing back or not? I'm definitely interested to hear from you guys. As always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can know anytime a video is being uploaded to this channel. It's Astronaut H. This is the What More Do You Want Network, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.